All right, hello everyone. You're joining us today for an Education Abroad info session for students in the College of Agricultural Science, specifically for short-term programs. These are programs that happen over the summer, winter break, spring break, things like that. My name is Drew Doty. I'm an Education Abroad coordinator. Our session moderator today is Derek Smallwood. He's our International Risk Manager and Advisor for the Middle East and Africa. This session is being live streamed currently to YouTube, and it is also being recorded. So if you need to bow out at any point in time, you can always jump back onto YouTube and watch the full recording there. You're also welcome to share that recording out with anyone you think might benefit from it. So I'm going to get us started today reading the CSU Land Acknowledgement. Colorado State University acknowledges with respect that the land we are on today is the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Ute nations and peoples. This was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for numerous other native tribes. We recognize the indigenous peoples as original stewards of this land and all the relatives within it. As these words of acknowledgement are spoken and heard, the ties nations have to their traditional homelands are renewed and reaffirmed. CSU is founded as a land-grant institution, and we accept that our mission must encompass access to education and inclusion. And significantly, that our founding came at a dire cost to Native nations and peoples whose land this university was built upon. This acknowledgement is the education and inclusion we must practice in recognizing our institutional history, responsibility, and commitment. All right, so as I mentioned, my name is Drew Doty. I'm Education Abroad Coordinator in the Office of International Programs. I use he, him, his pronouns. I regionally advise for programs in Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific Islands, as well as Spain and Portugal. I have a small portfolio of staff and faculty-led programs, and I also studied abroad in Costa Rica, Israel, Tanzania, and South Africa. I want to get us started with a little bit of myth busting. We hear a lot of concerns floating around the university for prospective students. First one being that if you study abroad, you're going to have to delay your graduation. And no, you won't. With proper planning, you should be able to stay not only on track to graduate on time, but you're going to actually enhance your degree, your education that you're going to come out of CSU with. And for those of you who may want to graduate early, if you do plan well enough in advance, you may still even be able to graduate early if you want to. Second thing we hear a lot is that studying abroad is going to be too expensive, that you just can't afford to go abroad, and so you're going to have to stay at CSU. While there is a little bit of truth to this, in that we do have some programs which are much more expensive than a typical semester here at CSU for Collins, we also have a plethora of programs that are the same cost per semester, and in some cases even less than a semester here at CSU. You can also use financial aid to pay for your education abroad experience. So if you're looking at some of these more affordable programs, in some cases, you can actually save money by going abroad for a semester. Third myth we hear a lot is that students don't think they can get the coursework they need while they're abroad. That the credits may not transfer. Kind of relates to that first myth. This is not true. Almost all of our programs offer coursework that does transfer back to CSU that will help you stay on track to graduate on time. You can find courses that will fulfill major requirements as well as your general elective requirements. And lastly, we also hear a lot of concerns about health and safety while abroad. A lot of students have fears about it, particularly right now, given the global pandemic that we're in. We have a full risk management team that supports our students going abroad. They're constantly monitoring basically the whole world, just to make sure that while our students are abroad and while they're preparing to go abroad, they know the risks that they might be getting into, and they know the ways that they can mitigate that risk so that they can go have a safe and fulfilling experience overseas. All right, so here's just a few statistics about the College of Agricultural Science students abroad. We've had about 312 students go abroad in the last 5 years from CAS. The destinations in the world that received the most students from CSU are New Zealand, Mexico, Australia, and Canada. A lot of those are because we have some pretty strong exchange partners in those countries. As you can see, it looks like animal science and horticulture and landscape architecture have sent the most students abroad for the College of Agricultural Science. But I do want to point out that just because the most students go abroad from those majors, it doesn't mean that there's not significant programming available for all the other majors within this college. If you're just starting out thinking about looking for programs to go abroad, we have a really amazing place for you to start. This is our recommended programs list. If you go to the Education Abroad website, there is a bar across the top of the screen you can see here. If you click recommended programs and then click on College of Agricultural Sciences, you're going to be brought to this page where we've listed out each major. And we have worked with each academic department to craft lists for students in each of these majors where they can find programming that offers coursework towards their major. So these are programs where you shouldn't have a hard time finding classes that will help you fulfill your major requirements or general elective requirements. They may also be great short-term options like over winter break that might just enhance your experience in your degree. So if you're just starting out, you're not really sure where you want to go, what you want to do, definitely check out the recommended programs page. It's probably the best place to start. And if you don't find something on a recommended programs page that excites you, likely there are other options out there that would work really well for you in your major. We try to keep these lists pretty concise. So if you're not finding something, please reach out to someone in our office. Any one of our coordinators would be happy to meet with you and talk about maybe some potential other options that may not be on the list. So I want to talk to you about a few programs to highlight. Again, this is an info session for short-term programs only. This morning we had an info session for semester-long programs. You can see that recording on YouTube if you missed it. For short-term programs, we're talking about programs that happen over the summer term, winter break, spring break, fall break. So the shorter terms, these are really great for students who maybe have strict major requirements, or maybe they're a little late in the game planning to go abroad and they just can't quite take a full semester overseas. Or maybe they've been abroad for a semester and you want to go again. And so these short-term programs are a nice way to get additional experience overseas. Okay. First one I want to highlight is Propin in Toulouse, France. This is a summer program located in Toulouse. Students will have the opportunity to study agriculture, food science, viticulture, winemaking, along with other students with similar interests from all over the world. Students begin the program by taking courses in Toulouse while doing experiential learning, field trips. You'll visit vineyards, cheese-making facilities. You'll work on the campus farm, among other things. There's also some excursions on the weekends, like if you want to go hiking in the Pyrenees Mountains. And then after studying in the classroom for the first part of the summer, you get the opportunity to do a 4-week internship on a farm or a related business like a vineyard, winery, cheese-making farm, donkey farm. This allows you to have this once-in-a-lifetime experience where you're going to live with a host family on a farm, learn about agricultural practices in France, their way of life, how they view the work that they do. And I have to be honest, this all sounds kind of dreamy. I've had kind of a running joke going with one of my colleagues about this program. We keep creating these scenes about what it must be like to live on a farm in France for a summer and all the different silly scenarios that might come up. Sound almost like it's out of a rom-com. any rate, this is a really great program for students from CAS. There is coursework for just about every major. If you're interested, the coordinator in our office who oversees this program is Marie Shallow. All right, next one I talk to you about is through one of our affiliate providers. This is ISA, International Studies Abroad. It's in Bangkok, Thailand at Mahidol University. Unique thing about this program is that they actually offer programming over every term that a student can go abroad. So I'm highlighting it here because they do offer summer and winter break programming. They also, if you're really passionate and want to do a semester though, you can also do that too. They do have fall and spring semester options. Located just outside of Bangkok in the suburb called Salaya, students will be able to take a wide variety of coursework in ag business, ag education, so crop science, fermentation science, horticulture. This is a full university, so there is plenty of course offerings here. And if you're a student who is interested in traveling around, a lot of students first think Europe as their option for getting to see several different countries. Southeast Asia is actually extremely affordable. And Bangkok is an amazing city to be based in, so you have such easy access to all of Southeast Asia, and it's extremely affordable to get around. Bear in mind, of course, right now we are still in a pandemic, so there may be some limitations to how much you can actually travel around over the next coming year or so. We hope that will change, but it is one of the biggest benefits about being based in Bangkok, is you can get around to see a lot of Southeast Asia very easily. Next program I want to talk to you about is Earth University. This is a summer program. Earth University is located in Huasimo de Limon, Costa Rica. It sits on 8 acres of farming and forest land that's actually owned by the university. You have the opportunity to take a wide variety of coursework, but specifically it's focused on sustainable agriculture. You'll also have the opportunity to do some overnight excursions to places like Puerto Viejo, Monteverde National Park, La Selva, Tortuguero National Park, Titsolo Indigenous Community. With the focus on sustainable agriculture, this is one of the best places in the world you could be. Costa Rica is world renowned for its efforts in conservation and sustainability. Notably, from an agricultural lens, their coffee industry is kind of a prime example of how sustainable agriculture can be scaled and supported through other industries such as tourism. So if you're interested in sustainable agriculture or just looking at agriculture through a different lens than what you're used to here in the US, this is a phenomenal program. Very easy to access to get to Costa Rica and to travel around Costa Rica as well in the US. Unfortunately, I do have to say all of this with the caveat that currently Earth University is not accepting students due to COVID-19. They were short-staffed, and so they currently are not able to accept international students at the moment, but we are hopeful that they will be able to open that back up in the near future. If you're interested in this program, you can learn more about it on our website, and you can also meet with Nicole Pulowski, who's the EA coordinator in our office who oversees this program. Right. One of the most common questions we get in our office is how do transfer credits work? It really depends on the type of program that you're going to go on. But we do have one kind of formalized process for you to review the classes that you want to take abroad and make sure that they're going to transfer back to CSU in the way that you need them to. And this all happens prior to travel, so you have plenty of time to look for additional courses if you need to, and make sure that you're going into this program knowing you're going to get the credits you need to stay on track to graduate on time. This form pictured here, this is the Education Abroad Transfer Credit Approval Form, and it outlines the full process. This is going to populate in your application for your education abroad program, and it will be a requirement that you have to fulfill before being fully authorized to travel. I won't go through all of the instructions here. There are step-by-step instructions for you to read through on your own. In short, you're going to find classes through your program, your education abroad program. You'll type them into this form and submit it to the registrar's office, who will do an initial evaluation. Once they've completed their evaluation, it gets sent to your academic advisor for the final review, where they can say, yes, these courses can count towards either major requirements or electives or minor requirements, things like that. If you have any questions about this, don't worry. We talk students through it all the time. Feel free to reach out to us. As you're preparing to go abroad, you're going to work with kind of 3 overlapping groups of people. First one, be your CSU Education Abroad Coordinator. That's someone like myself. On our website, when you're looking at a program page, if you're on the overview site, it will tell you who the coordinator in our office is for that program. You'll also work with your academic advisor or academic success coordinator. They're going to help you map out your time, the rest of your time at CSU, so that you know exactly what classes you need to be looking for while you're abroad, and they can help give you some guidance on how those credits are going to transfer back. And lastly, you will likely be given a program advisor. So if you're going on an exchange program or going through one of our affiliate providers, they're going to assign you an advisor through that program that you'll work with. Or if you're going on a CSU faculty-led program, you'll work with that CSU faculty member as well. In our office, these are all of the coordinators that you might work with, depending on the program that you're planning to go on. We do kind of regionally specialize, except for when it comes to faculty-led programs. We all have programs all over the world under our portfolio. Again, you can figure out which one of us to work with by looking on that overview page. We also have education abroad peer advisors. These are Brennan Ackerman, Claudia Rohner, and Tia Nunez. These are CSU students who have gone abroad and were so inspired and excited about the experience they had that they decided they wanted to come work for us. They're here to help you with general questions you might have about education abroad. You may see their faces around our office. You may even hear from them time to time over email. They're also more than happy to share their experience abroad with you if you're just looking for a student perspective on education abroad. They are all 3 more than happy to meet with you anytime. And finally, we have 2 coordinators for financial aid that specialize in education abroad programs. Their names are Cindy Maris and Evelyn Martinez. You can reach out to them with general questions using that email listed here, specialprograms@caldwellstate.edu. Like I mentioned earlier, about 99% of the financial aid that you receive through CSU can be used to pay for your education abroad experience. And Cindy and Evelyn would be more than happy to talk to you about how that will play out for you in your unique situation. If you're looking for other ways to fund your education abroad program, we do have several scholarships that we house in our office, and we have just 1 application that you need to fill out to be eligible for them. That's the Education Abroad Common Scholarship application. You can find more information under the Students tab and then select Financial Aid and Scholarships. We do have, if you're interested in a winter break 2022 program, next week is the deadline for those scholarships. So make sure you're keeping that on your radar if you're in that boat. All right, so that's a quick overview. From here, your next steps, start thinking about the classes you're going to need during the term that you want to go abroad. Visit our Start Here page on our website. There is so much information there. If you have quick questions, majority of the things we talk to students about live on that Start Here page. Start looking for programs through our website. There is a lot of them. make an appointment. Once you've selected a few programs, make an appointment with someone in our office who oversees that so you can learn a little bit more about what the application process might look like, as well as more details about the program. If you use financial aid, definitely encourage you to reach out to make an appointment with a financial aid coordinator for education abroad, and you can schedule with them the same way that you would meet with us in our office. And when you're ready, apply for the program. That's all I have for today. Thank you all so much for joining. We do still have 2 more days left of the Education Abroad Fair. If you've missed Education Abroad 101, there's a ton of great content in there. It's happening every day at 9 a.m. There's also a session every day at 9:30 a.m. for financial aid scholarships. If you're interested in doing an international internship, tomorrow at 2 p.m., we'll have a session on that. Maybe you've been abroad or you're interested potentially in doing Peace Corps after graduation. It's going to be a session tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then if you've missed anything so far, like I mentioned before, everything has been recorded. So you can go to our YouTube playlist to see what you might have missed. I know we're right at time. Derek, did we have any questions come through?
Nope, nothing lingering. Thanks, Drew.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.